Hey everybody, hope all is well with you guys. I have another amazing interview for the Manny Hall Show with a wonderful guest that I had an opportunity to connect with probably like earlier this year. And once I met this young lady, it was like on and popping because she was so sincere, had such a great spirit. But I gotta connect this phone real quick, yo. But as soon as she joins, you guys are going to see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, hold on. Let me get this all adjusted. And it's been a while, y'all, since I've had the Manny Hall Show. This is something that I had been doing for a while, but I kind of stopped and pivoted for a while. But now I'm back here to bring some more value to you guys. But this interview is going to be really, really dope. I know that you guys are going to enjoy this guest. All right, here she is. Let's get this going. Hold on. Let me invite you up. All right, Zenobia, let me know if you see that. All right, what's going on? Uh-oh. Get it. Wait,
What's up? Hey,
wait.
hey,
How are
listen,
you?
I'm in a juice. It's called the juice room, and they
Okay,
have music playing. Oh, it's not too
okay.
loud, right? You can hear me clearly.
No, we good.
Okay, 'cause I
Absolutely.
can hear the music, so I was
Okay.
like, hey, yay.
Yeah, you gonna make me two-step real
What's up?
quick.
Look, I've been up since 8 o'clock. Well, since about seven ish, 6:45. I did
Okay,
a movement workshop this morning at 8 o'clock though
okay.
for
Tell me about that.
people. So one thing I do that you might not know this actually, but I actually do workshops for movement for resilience.
Gotcha.
It's
Okay,
basically learning and development for nonprofits, for
okay,
corporate,
okay.
for I've done it for kids. I've done it for a lot of people, but I love dancing. I love moving.
Got
So this one was they wanted me to put a spin on it and make it for teams or team building. So
okay.
we actually did movement. I mean, the joy of movement for teams and team building.
Mm.
So it was really fun. I did it for the
Around
Strength and
which age
Leadership
group did
Academy.
you have?
Oh, these were adult. These was the oldest
Okay,
person was
gotcha,
probably
gotcha,
in their 60s, 70s.
gotcha.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
So I've been moving all day. So I'm
I
like,
love
hey,
it.
it's only 12 o'clock. We got so much of the day left. Let me share this out with a couple people. Get
Nothing
some
wrong with
people
that.
in here as well. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well, and thanks for being able to join. First question that I really wanted to ask you was before you told them about who you are and what you do. Um, it's like this story of like how you got started and how you stay consistent. But first, like tell them who you do.
Hey y'all, so I am Synovia. I used to consider myself, which is still a part of me, but a resident instigator, sparker, and energizer of all things joy and authenticity. I've kind of pivoted. I think I heard you say something about pivot and shift when I got in
Yeah,
here, something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But I now just say that I am on assignment here to bring pieces of heaven to earth by way of
Mhm.
music and movement.
I love it.
So yeah, that's a bit about me. I'm a singer songwriter. I'm a poet. I'm just an all around creative, and I'm also a program director for an arts based nonprofit that teaches young girls basically how to rock and roll, so how to play music and sing and all that type of stuff.
Mm,
So
I love
I
it.
do all things music and arts related.
Okay. And
Yes.
how do you get into this creative space?
Oh, that's a good story. So I actually started this. I started this. Well, I started, I guess, creativity as a kid. I was I needed a way to express myself, and I actually started writing poetry. That was the best way
Mm,
I could express myself. I
okay.
also was selected as the what do you call that? I was Mrs. Claus in the Christmas play in second grade. So
Okay.
they were like, I can still remember they were like, we're looking for the best singer in the second grade. And I didn't think I just like to hum and things like
Yeah,
that. And they picked me to be Mrs. Claus because they said they had to find the best singer in the second grade.
gotcha.
And I won. So I was like, oh, I guess I can sing.
Yeah.
So then I started singing in church. And my grandma was
Okay.
like, you gonna do something? She said, you gonna either do,
Mhm.
you gonna sing or you gonna be an usher. And I wasn't standing up the whole service. So so I said, oh, I guess I'm being a choir because you could do this in the choir. You can stand up, you
Right,
sit back
right.
down. You can stand up, you sit back down. So I joined the choir because I had to pick something. And really, I didn't even want to do it. My sister wanted to do it more than me
Mm.
and realized that I loved singing
Wow.
because of church.
Gotcha.
basically.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
that's where it all started. Yep.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now,
Mhm.
what's been this thing that has kept you to sustain and not give up during this time?
Mm, that, I mean, I think that's, I would say probably double fold or maybe trifold.
Okay.
Of course, one is definitely God.
Okay.
Um, and knowing that, like, I grew up in the church, or grew up in the church, you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And being around that kind of like positivity that you can do anything, you can do all things through Christ, you can,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. And being like, oh, I can be empowered to do this, but
Mm,
also just singing. Like, it literally, that's the thing that has kept me pretty much sane in
gotcha.
reality,
Gotcha.
because that's what a lot of arts can do for us, or
Mm,
expression can do for us. So there was
mm,
that. And then I would also say just like my grandmother in general was a huge support throughout my life. So I had somebody there to, as much as she could, like she can only do so much. She was raising a second generation of kids, and it took her a lot of her life was spent raising my mama and all her kids, and then also now raising me and one of my other sisters. So she was just like, she's like my favorite person in the world. I say that now because I just left home, and I got on my Indiana. I'm from Indiana, so I got on my
love it.
Indiana. It says
Represent.
home is love. Yeah, it says home is love. And so yeah, so I would say my grandmother, that's been sustaining for me. And then also just uh me seeing myself. Like, I think so, me growing up in the space of social media. Hey Stacy, me growing up in the space of social media, I get to see Synovia, on video. I get to see all these things, and I think when I see myself, there's been moments where I'll look at myself, and because I see so much in myself, I will cry literally,
Mm,
and I'll
mm,
just be like, oh, I just, whoever
mm,
that person is, it's
mm,
almost like I'm
mm,
having an out of body
yeah.
experience where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, whoever she is, I like her.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
who is this? And then I realized that this is what other people are experiencing
Mm,
when
mm.
they come in contact with my
Talk
music
that
or
talk.
my
Mm-hmm.
look. I'd be like, oh, this is what y'all experiencing. I feel that. I understand that. I want that too.
Yep.
So that's been another motivating factor. It's just like I look at myself and I'm like, oh, you dope. Oh,
Mm,
you. Oh,
mm,
you got something. There's something
mm.
right there. And then I just be
Hey,
like,
look,
that
so,
girl got to keep going.
so now you done already started ministering, so you might as well go ahead, keep it going. Like, we about to be passing the offering plate. We about to be about to come up in here shouting because look, at the end of the day, what you're saying is so real and valid.
Mm-hmm.
We all can have that experience, but it's like really us stepping out of ourselves and really being mesmerized by this amazing gift that God put inside.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
look, it's there for everybody to take notice. But when we don't see that thing ourselves, we naturally
Mm-hmm.
end up projecting something that we see
Exactly.
ourselves. And if it's the doubt, if it's the fear, if it's the insecurity, if it's the I don't know if I'm good enough, then that's what we're showing to the world.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we tap in to start really believing in ourselves, it's like really peeking behind the curtains, like, oh, you dope for real. God, this what you created?
For real.
Man, Jesus, like what is this thing right here? And you like, wait a minute, I get a chance to live in this body every single day. When you tap into that, y'all, you end up experiencing something totally different inside of your life. Talk about that a little bit more. Lean into that, please.
Yeah, we're gonna leave with a rock with it. So look, I feel like, and this has been a new sensation for me. And like I said, I call it like this kind of out of body experience where I'm believing who God says I am, says Stacy. Thank you. And so I've been and it's hard because it takes, and y'all let me know if this music is too loud because it's kind of loud to
No,
me,
you
but
good.
okay, if I say sometimes the AirPods do a good job of isolating the sound, so I just want to
Yeah,
make
you
sure.
good. You can
Um, but because it's jamming in here, y'all don't feel it, but it's some good hip hop up in here right now. But I have to, I look back through my voice. I listen to voice memos, right? So I do a lot of voice memos. And if you are creative or whoever you are, hey Chris, hey everyone. I'm just saying hi to people. I just know their names and everything, so my bad. But hi to everybody that's here. But I, I listen to my voice memos. I go back and I look at old videos of me. I go back and I open up old journals of my old
Mm,
poetry that's like this thick. And I'm like, man, I
Yeah.
was really writing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but then I think what's happening for me right now is that I'm realizing all the things I still have yet to share with
Mm.
people. Granted, I do believe that some things are just for you,
Yeah.
but also I know that a lot of things are for everybody. Like everybody's supposed to experience it. Going back to the top, we're going back to the top. We're going
Yeah.
back to church right here.
Yeah.
To the mission of my, like what I've recently developed, and I was like, oh, I'm here to wake up the world, right?
Mm.
I'm here to wake up everybody with, you know, this pulling down of heaven to earth through
Yeah.
music and movement and through conversations
Yeah.
and stuff like this, you know, when
Yeah.
people hear me speak and all that. And I
Yeah.
was like, what would it look like for me to just live on purpose, live out loud, and also just do all the things that I've ever seen, like
Mm.
in my brain, in my mind,
Yeah.
which probably in this lifetime is impossible for me, but it's not impossible for it to be passed on to
Yeah.
somebody else. And
Yeah.
I might be getting off topic.
No, this
But
is good.
anyway,
This is all good. Thank you.
but
Thank you.
anyways, I'm just like in a space where I'm like, I want to see. I'm. Ooh, this is a good part right here. I'm gonna say it's good for me.
Go ahead.
I'm tired of everybody else seeing the thing and I'm not seeing the thing. Like
Mm.
I've heard so many times other people are like, "Oh, you got it. You're gonna be on TV. You're gonna be doing this. You're gonna be doing that." And I'm like, and I'm humble. I'm
Yeah.
over here like, yeah, oh yeah. And now I'm like, I'm trying to lean into it like, yeah, you know, yeah, I'm gonna be on
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. Oh yeah, I'm getting Grammys. At least a
Yeah.
nom. We getting a nom. We
Mhm.
getting a Grammy nomination.
Mhm.
Like all that type of stuff. Whether it comes through writing, whether it comes through my actual music, whether it comes through me as a creative. I see people, and like again, I say I see it on social media now. I'm watching people, and I'm saying, oh, that's me. I could do that. I
Mm.
could do that. This person can do that. And the last thing I'm gonna say for now is I'm learning that it's also okay to just simplify a lot of things. So my whole thing, I don't have on my shirts, but I have shirts that say you have everything you need. I think Stacy has one, but I have shirts that say you have everything you need. And I need to lean into that actual ideal. I've been saying that for years. I use phrases like pack light, which means less. I
Mm.
use phrases like you have everything you need, to thy
Mm.
own dopeness be true.
Mm.
And it's always, I realize what God has always put inside of me are minimizing statements where he's like, yes, you can do more, but I want you to do all the more with a lot less than what you think you need to do because in reality you
Mm.
already got it. So it's
Mm.
me believing that I already got it. Like,
Mm.
so I could go on and on. Yes, Stacey, pack light. You already know. She might have a pack light shirt too. I had pack light shirts. I got all type of stuff. And I'm tired of, I start so many ideas though. And people like Stacey know, because she's one of those people I feel like have been supporting different ideas I've had. Like, come move with me, pack light. You have everything you need. And it's the follow through. And that's what I'm working on right now is how can I take some of those ideas that I've been kind of like envisioned and I've started them, but how do I actually be like, okay, which one can I maybe start with to make a foundation and
Yeah.
then let these things grow? Because in
Yeah.
reality, I don't have to create another idea, Manny. I don't
Mm.
have to think another thing for real, because I really have already. Somebody I saw a tweet that was like, go to the notes. You got
Mm.
$1 million worth of game in your notes,
Mm.
most likely. Like go to the phone, go to your notes that you've been writing, or go to the notes that you already have in your phone, and realize that everything that you probably are looking for in an idea, you probably already wrote it down.
Mm.
I'm,
And
I'm
you know
talking a
what?
lot.
And it's no, this is good. You ain't talking a lot at all. It's so good and so truthful, but it's like many creatives, influencers, impactful people, they struggle with that piece
Yeah,
because the ideas don't stop. They just
they
keep on
don't.
coming and keep on flooding. But most of the time, for most of us, we don't really spend that time really in that prayer and meditation to really get the plan and execution part out. We get excited like, oh my, got something to be a millionaire. Like when? I don't know. But what would he tell you to do? I don't know, but it's coming. And it's
Yeah,
just like the next thing you know, they got another idea, then another idea. So then we end up labeling ourselves a serial entrepreneur simply because we got all these great ideas and we don't know which one to execute on first. And then you look at your life and you be like, I know I ain't gonna be here for a billion years. I gotta act and do something.
yeah.
But where the heck do I start at?
Where do I start? Where do
And
I start?
why do you think we stay so stuck in that position?
I think we stay stuck there. I think there's a couple of things. I think one is an actual lack of belief and
Mm,
or faith
mm,
that we actually got it. I think
yeah.
there's that.
For sure.
But I think we also like to we kind of get stuck in our minds.
Yeah.
And it's like we'll have all these things, and I don't know, I got to touch my head clearly.
Mm.
But we have all these things like right here, and they just chilling right
Yeah.
here. And it's like for some reason the translation between like maybe it's a communication issue, and I think it could be whether it be the affirmations or like you said the meditation and prayer
Yeah.
that we need to go into. There's a lack of I think a communication disconnect between what we say we believe and what we actually believe.
Yeah.
I think we say we believe a certain thing, but a lot of times we don't actually fully believe in that thing. But the crazy thing about it is that I think we also don't think that it's enough. We think that mustard
Mm.
seed size things are not enough. When in
Mm.
reality, even the Bible says that you can take a mustard seed size, which
Mm.
you can't even see it. I heard it's like microscopic,
Yeah.
right? Like you can
Yeah.
take a mustard seed size type thing and be like, boom, and then let the rest of that like grow in the way that it needs to grow. But we don't believe. We don't actually believe. There's a disconnect. It's I believe,
Yeah.
but I also don't believe I'm enough. I don't
Mm.
believe I have
Mm.
enough.
Mm.
And again, it
Mm.
goes back to my core
Yeah.
message. You have everything you need.
Yeah, and I don't know where that was in the word, but the one homie came to Jesus and said, "Look, I believe, but help my unbelief."
Help, and there's that. Yeah, I believe, but help my unbelief.
And
Because
I
there
think
will be
there's
elements of our life where we do have that.
exactly, and I think that it's like an honesty moment that we need to have with ourselves.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I do believe that this can happen a little bit,
Hmm.
but it ain't this little bit sometimes ain't enough for that thing to really happen because it's like the more I believe it and put my attention towards it, then I'm really bringing it to pass because my mind is so focused on it that
Yep.
now it's literally revealing ways to actually bring it to pass. But
Yes.
if I'm
Yes.
not thinking about it or even looking at it, paying no attention to it, then my mind and even God is like, "Oh, you don't really want that bad because you don't even do nothing. Like you ain't researched nothing about business, you ain't studied your audience, you ain't posted nothing on social media, you ain't got the YouTube page started. I gave you the ideas, but you said I was supposed to be speaking to nations. Yeah, you are supposed to be speaking to nations. You should have been
Hmm.
speaking to nations. But
Yeah.
it's really starting on your YouTube page,
Yep.
starting on your Instagram page. Like you can literally be speaking to people all around the world if you just open yourself up and get brave enough
Hmm.
put yourself out there. Now, in that transition is really what I want you to speak about next because it's like we'll start to believe, but then it's just like nobody around us is doing the same thing.
Yes. Hmm.
Nobody around us is believing and having faith. So it's like, then what do we do, Sonova, in those situations?
Ooh, and I will say, luckily, and God bless, that I do have a lot of people around me that are in similar spaces, and we do believe, but we also struggle with that. And I think if we do have the people around us that do not believe, you got to change your circle. And I think that's
Mm,
as easy as that is. I mean, that sounds hard, but we got to be okay with. Um, there's a season for everything, and sometimes these seasons for even friends that you got, or even like speaking up about your boundaries and being like, hey, like I know there's been times with even in my own family dynamic, uh, I had to be like, yo, the language, what
yeah.
I'm hearing, that's
Hmm.
not healthy for me.
Yeah.
So you got to become one, self-aware of what you need, and
Yeah.
then two, if you have to cut, we can bless things as they come and bless things
Mm,
as they go. It doesn't
mm,
have to be
mm,
like we don't always have to think. I think we
mm.
think like when we cut people off, we gotta be like, no new. I mean, I'm cutting friends
Yeah.
off. I'm doing. No, it could just be like peacefully. I
Mm.
send you like
Right, right.
peacefully. You go because I have to change my circle. So for me, it's a simple things like YouTube videos in the morning, like changing what I'm hearing on a daily basis, like listening to audiobooks. And Manny and I talked about that before, like, listening to books and reading different books. Right now, I'm actually reading Parable. I'm reading Parable of the Sower, which is not like
Mm.
it's not like a self
Like that.
help type anything,
Yeah.
but it is it's fiction, but still,
Okay.
it's like it's something that I know
Yeah.
I can learn
For sure.
from a
Sure.
black author as well. But like reading and just literally changing you have to change what's in your closest proximity, and I think that's the best way that you can do that.
Absolutely. So as you kind of set out to realize you had this gift inside of you and realize, you know what, I'm gonna build this brand, like what obstacles initially came up?
Russian.
Okay.
It goes into what you were saying, like sometimes we jump and we gonna hit the ground, and I think Steve Harvey had given like a little speech like you gonna jump, and sometimes the parachute is not gonna open and
Mm,
you're gonna scrape up your knee, and but knowing that I can actually get up after that. And I think
mm,
there's been times where I like scraped my knee and I did some stuff and I was like, oh, that was a bad idea, I just shouldn't have done
mm,
that. And it's like, no, not necessarily, you fail, right? So
mm,
what you do when you fall? Get back up, wipe
mm.
yourself off, and try again. Or if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself
Yeah.
off and try again.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep. Yep.
So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it was one of those things where, for me personally, that's where I've kind of I don't say messed up, but I guess messed up, like not allowing there to be grace. And I think that's the word I'm looking for. Not
Mm.
allowing there to be grace to fail. Because I've also heard from studies that a lot of businesses, um, they need to fail a couple, not all of them, but
Mm.
sometimes you got
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fail a couple times
Yeah. Yeah.
to learn what to do the
Yeah.
next time, and to
Yeah.
learn again, and to learn. So when you was in track or whatever, or track and field or basketball or football, whatever sports we played as kids, we scraped ourselves up a couple times. Or if you're learning to skate, you probably fell a couple times. You needed some knee pads.
Facts.
We got to allow the same amount of grace, and we just beat ourselves up too much,
Mm.
honestly. And I do that a lot, actually. And sometimes I'll just be beating myself up, and it's like, for what? Like,
Mm. Mm.
there's no reason for me to beat myself up.
Yeah.
I can literally get up and try the thing again. So I think
Fact.
that would be my thought there. Would be give yourself grace.
Gotcha. Now, who would you say inspired you the most to get here, and then who actively inspires you?
Ooh, um, who? And that's a great question, actually. Who inspired me to get here, and who now actively inspires me? I would say who inspired me to get here. It had to be, and I think honestly, I would just think about one artist that I followed, and when YouTube started to become a big thing, was Tori Kelly.
Okay.
And I really, and I don't know if y'all know her or not, but like Tori Kelly,
Yeah,
and then
I
there's
like
also,
good.
yeah, Tori Kelly. She was playing her guitar, singing her songs, and she was doing covers on YouTube. And now to see where she is to this day, doing voiceovers and movies and all this, has done a gospel album which I love, and all these other things. She was one of my inspirations, and I would say actively, I have a lot, but I just say Tori Kelly right now, and then I would say actively, it's the closest people to me. It's my friends. Honestly, it's the people on the ground. I'm a big supporter of like local businesses. A lot of times, black owned businesses or
Yeah.
woman owned businesses.
Okay.
Um, so it's the people that are the quote, like I see them doing the work. Like I have a meeting today with an event space owner. Her name is Courtney, and she's the person that inspires me on a daily basis.
Mm.
And there's one of my friends, Simone, who's launched so many different businesses. There's my friend Jada, who just recently launched Say La Homie, which is like a business idea she started. So I have so many people around me that are just doing dope things. Like my friend Corey KP, who is releasing a book. I don't know if she's still here. She was here earlier, but who's releasing a book. And I like to keep my circle close, and I like to support the
Yeah.
people who are the nearest to me. So those are
Yeah.
my daily and constant inspirations.
So what would you say is the biggest reason why you think having these type of people around you is important?
They are the closest in reach, literally. So I just thought in my mind, I see things in visions a lot. So I just saw a hug, right? So I was just like, when I'm looking at somebody like Tori Kelly, she's not in reach of me, at least not right now, right? She's
Mhm.
not in that close proximity. She can still inspire me on
Right.
another level. But I think at whatever current level you're at, you need people who are right here, like an army, like,
Sure.
arm in arm with you.
Yeah.
So I think that's why those people matter the most, because if you're in an army, yeah, the general, he might be all the way back there, not, he don't understand where you at right here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want the people who understand me right here where I'm at. But
Yeah.
also, I'm not going to ever neglect the fact that there are people who are on a different level. And I think we can say levels like this, right?
Yeah.
Because there are different levels.
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
on a different level than me, that I'm going to look up to and be like, okay, I aspire to be that thing. But
Mm.
right now, we are all right here. And if my friend ends up at that level, go do your thing. We could probably still be arm in arm, possibly, but it's going to be a little harder once people,
Yeah.
you can't be arm in arm. That means you got to, and
Yeah.
that's the monkeys in the barrel type vibe. So,
Yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's so important to have people right here with you because they are the people that are the closest to you, that can hug you, that can extend grace to you, that can hear you, and that can see you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the law of polarity because we everything has an opposite. So,
Hmm.
what happens now when we are trying to build our businesses, trying to build our brands into something meaningful, but we got the opposite around us? We got some people that's not inspiring us, that's actually discouraging us from being successful,
Hmm.
actually bringing us down with their negativity and their bad vibes on a daily basis, or whenever we talk to them. Let's talk about how successful we can become with having those people around us.
It's gonna be impossible. I
Yeah.
don't like to say things are impossible,
Yeah.
but it's it's gonna be quite difficult. So I think about it like this. I sometimes have conversations with people who mentally, I'm just say mentally, are struggling. You know, maybe they struggle with depression, they struggle with different things. Imagine always talking to that friend every single day. How
Mm,
do you think you're going to feel at some point? Yes, I
mm,
want to be a friend to them. I want to help them out, but I am not your therapy. I am not your God. I am not. I can help you as much as I can, but I also have to first put. And I always tell people, you know, when you get on the plane, they say put your mask on first. If anything happens, put your mask on first before you try to put on masks of others.
yeah.
So you got to put your mask on because if you just constantly putting masks on for others, you're not breathing.
Mm, mm,
So I'm going to say it's almost like you're suffocating yourself if you do that. So you
mm,
do have to be careful. And sometimes it's going to take goes back to what you're talking about. It may take a break in a friendship or a business partnership that you've had for a long time. To like
yeah.
honestly, I won't be able to do this and
Mm,
succeed in the way that I need to. So
mm.
yeah.
And you know what I think that what you're saying is like being somewhat comfortable with these uncomfortable moments, that
Hmm.
realizing it's going to be constant transitions within your life, and it's like you're thinking of what it would be like to be this successful business owner, but some of the things that you are going to have to let go of, maybe you're just not ready to do that yet.
Hmm.
And you have to realize that part of this conversation we were having is that some of these things that you're holding on to is literally keeping you stuck.
Yep.
Like I meet so many amazing business owners with a great product, great service, great business model, but they're not growing Synovia simply because they got the wrong people around them. They got
Hmm.
somebody in their ear when they share this idea. Oh no, don't do that. They ain't gonna work, so they don't do it.
Right.
Oh no,
Hmm.
don't have that event. They ain't gonna work, so they don't do it.
And honestly, we be having too many people talking without. We just need to act. Like some things you need to be like, God gave me this idea, and also if I'm gonna fail, just let me fail. Like
Mm,
I mean, and sometimes as friends, if you are this friend, right? If you're watching right now, you are this friend that's always telling somebody they can't do something. Stop doing it.
mm,
Find a way to, I think, give either some type of like a positive juxtaposition of like,
yeah,
hey, maybe you don't necessarily, or just be quiet. You don't
yeah,
actually have to say
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
And that's a whole.
yeah,
You don't have to say
yeah,
anything. You can be like,
yeah,
oh, okay, that
yeah.
sounds cool.
Right, right, right.
Let your friend do their thing and let
Exactly.
them just, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think also you just don't have to say nothing. Like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
if you want to stay friends with them, and if you want to see them, or speak life
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
that idea. Like find a
Yeah.
way to speak life into it, even if you don't believe in it. Be like, well, we're gonna pray over this, or we're gonna whatever
Right.
you believe in, however you do. Okay, we're gonna pray over this. That could be your
Yeah.
way of like supporting. So there's
Mm-hmm.
other ways, other things we can do to help our people out that are entrepreneurs because it's not easy.
No.
Um, it's easy to be like, I'm about to just go get a 4 9 to 5 again because forget this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this, but
Yeah.
it's hard and we need that actual support. So uh yeah, I had actually a pretty deep friendship break last year um with someone because of something similar to this, having those tough conversations, and she felt a certain way, and but now we've come back around and we're able to still talk. We're not like besties anymore,
Yeah.
but we're able to still like come back to conversation because we needed that time apart. So I
Yeah.
think mature emotional intelligence and growth can handle that type of separation.
Yep. Absolutely. And
Hmm.
for those that just joined, like we're having an amazing conversation with the homie Sonovi. If you're not hip, click that arrow at the top and go to her page and go follow her. Simply because
Yes.
I would not have anybody on this show that wasn't dope, y'all. So I got her because she dope. Like she fit into that qualification of being one of the dopest out here, and she got some good music in the background playing too. So that's a win. But you know, as we think about building our brands, because this is what majority of the people that follow me they talk about. Like, why is it that we build this brand, but then we somehow believe that as soon as we start, the sales are supposed to come in?
Been trying to get sales for years, y'all. Uh, no, I just gotta also I gotta be consistent. Yeah, I think we also need to start going into things. I don't like to use the word realistic
Okay.
because I think we should sometimes honestly be a little unrealistic
Yeah.
with your dreams, right? With your ideas. You should be like, nah, I know it feels like it's not possible,
Hmm.
but this is what I see, this is what I feel, this is what I want. And
Yeah.
then I think when you go big, right, here and here, I'm gonna say heart, then you at least hopefully get a fraction of that big that you experience, if
Yeah.
not the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
So so yeah, we gotta lean into that, lean into to what we believe fully. So I'm not gonna say be realistic. I'm not gonna say that today. That's not.
Yeah. But
I
but
can't say
but
that
but
today.
but what's that balance of like believing and then doing the work?
I think pacing. Um, I think that's the word I feel right now for that question is
Okay.
learning how to pace yourself.
Hmm.
Um, you can believe, but I think if you rush and you try to build, and we say, you know, maybe you build a foundation too quickly, we know that that foundation is going to fall. You can still believe and believe slowly.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
you can still believe and be
Hmm.
like, okay, and I'm gonna do this in 4 years, not in
Hmm.
the 1.5 I wanted to do it. You know,
Hmm.
because like for me, for example, for the movement therapy and come move with me things I've been doing it now for about 2 years. And I think now I'm finally at a space where I'm like, okay, I think I want to take this to the next level and try to make this corporate, you
Yeah.
know, and try to make this, I go into schools and I become
Yeah.
like a speaker slash like movement workshop
Yeah.
facilitator or
Yes.
something of that nature.
Which let's talk
So,
offline about that. I can get you in some opportunities too.
ooh, let's do it. I'm down for it. I got reviews. They say I'm good out here.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think I think the word that I really feel for that is just pacing. You just got to pace yourself. It's a race, but it's a marathon, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna take you some time. And that sounds
Yeah.
so typical to say,
Yeah.
like, oh, it's a
Yeah.
marathon. It really is. Like you're
No.
gonna have to
Yeah.
pass the baton probably a couple
Yeah.
times and
Right. Right.
stop
Right.
and drink some water and like I
Hmm.
don't. You might have to take a break and then come back
Yeah.
to it. Like I don't know. But it's literally a marathon.
But let's talk about that since you just touched on it. Let's talk about how we can rest. And I want to say that I feel like I'm doing a really good job by not talking a lot, and I've allowed you to really do a
That's
good
probably
job.
because I talk
I
a
think
lot.
this is the quietest I've ever been in the interview. So good job, man. I'm really learning to ask the questions and let that person talk
Look
here.
at good
Yeah.
job. There's growth. There's
Uh,
growth.
but tell me about that. Like, where does rest come in along our entrepreneurial journeys?
Lord, I'll be resting. I had to whisper on that because I was like, that one is a. So I will admit that that one is a struggle a
Okay.
lot of times. But I'm learning because like I do believe I've seen like different things on social media where it's like rest is a form of resistance, you know, and it's just
Hmm.
like resisting against this idea that we have to continue to always like as an entrepreneur or creative, you have to always be like,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
technically you do trade like a regular just like 9 to 5 for like now I basically don't know when I clock out. Like I'm
Hmm.
kind of always working in a sense. But rest can also come in so many different ways. So I think we have to come to the knowledge that rest isn't always just going to sleep.
Yeah.
It's not just taking a nap. Rest could be like going to dance. It could be making yourself a meal, you know, taking yourself out to eat. We may call it self care a lot of
Yeah.
the times, but I think that could also be a form of resting yourself. So you're resisting the urge to continue to do, you know, whatever work activity that you probably were working on.
Yeah.
So finding different ways. So I often do that now. Like I'll take myself out to eat. I'll I have a kind of boundaries when it comes to my what do you call it? My sleep schedule too. I try to like my phone goes to automatic do not disturb at like 10:30, so I'm
Gotcha.
not like as distracted on my phone. And
Yeah.
there's different things I think that we have to just start integrating into our life. That maybe you can't always take a nap because maybe you legit don't have time to take a nap
Yeah.
throughout the day. Some people
Hmm.
got families, and I don't have all that right now. But like some people got way more things. They're like, I can't just take a nap. But
Yeah.
if you can't do that, what can you? Can you take a walk? You know,
Mm.
with your thing. Like, what can you do to get yourself away from
Gotcha.
sitting at the computer screen for 16 hours in a day? So
Absolutely.
I
Because
think it's so super important.
essentially, what does that rest do for us?
Restores us. I mean, it
Mhm.
gives, and I think it also gives you the energy to, like, if you got ideas, it refreshes you, restores you. It gives you the opportunity to kind of reset. I think all the R words are coming right now. Restore,
Yeah. Yeah.
refresh,
Right.
reset.
Right.
Like
Right.
everything is like because you as a human being literally are not made to run like a phone
Mm.
runs. Like a lot of times our phones, we don't even turn them off anymore. You know, back in the day, we used to cut
Yeah.
them off a little bit. Like nowadays,
Mm.
your phone just be on 24/7. It stays on the charger all night. Like when
Yeah.
I let my phone die, people are like, "You let your phone die?" I'm like, I, I
Yeah.
just I kind of did it on purpose a little bit. Just let it die, let it breathe. The phone needs to
Gotcha.
breathe. You need to
Gotcha.
breathe.
Right. Right.
We are not a machine, though this brain kind of operates like that, but we are not.
Mhm.
We're not a machine.
Yep, I appreciate that. Okay, so as we close, like what's some final words and how can they get in contact with you and to maybe if they're in your city, like how can they check out some of your events? Talk to them.
Yes. So I am based in Philadelphia. I'm from Indiana. I showed y'all this earlier, but I have a home is love. I just got this. I just literally flew back to Philly last night. So I just got back to Philly, but you can check me out, iamsynovia.com. You can also check me out at iamsynovia here, of course. I'm open right now as far as booking. I'm actually booking for next year, so I'm booking, shows. I have an EP releasing next year as well called Therapy. I think it's going to be called Therapy. We'll see if the name changes,
Nice.
but called Therapy. So that's going to be fantastic. I also do movement for resilience workshops virtually. So if you're a
Oh, look,
nonprofit
y'all,
or
they
if you're
virtual. I thought they
yeah,
was
they're
in
virtual.
look,
Yeah,
y'all
they're
tap
virtual
in.
and in person. So most of them are virtual for now.
Nice.
So if you are a
Nice.
person, and believe it or not, it's extremely engaging as well. So the same way I'm talking to y'all, I'll be on the screen like, let's go, and then we get up and we dance, and it's a whole lesson for like an hour, hour and a half. So if you work for an organization that could benefit from that, definitely email me as well, or people. Um, and then I think you asked another question. Oh, lasting words. You have everything you need. That's all. That's always my
Mm.
thing. You have everything you need. I do have a single releasing this upcoming Sunday, so 4 days from now. Um, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, it's like 3 days almost. So
Yeah.
like, I'm like
Hmm.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I have a new song releasing. It's called Perfect. It's my first dance track, so I'm super excited about that as well. And
So,
do all the things. I don't know if Jada's still here, but that's one of the things we'd be saying to each other is do all the things. So whatever
mhm.
it is for you, I just encourage you do it or try all the things, experiment with all the things, and see which one sticks to the wall.
Absolutely.
That's
All right.
it.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank
This is
you.
my page and eventually going over to YouTube. But this has been a great interview, Sonovia. I appreciate your time today.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
See you
Peace and
soon.
blessings, everybody.
All right. Bye.